Hey, clarifying our values is really a big deal. We talked a couple days ago, and this week at the message, I talked about three things: about identifying our values, about clarifying our values, and the third one was fortifying our values. So when those things come together, they create a strong sense of personhood, a strong sense of identity. Show me someone whose identity is not very stable, not very, you know, buoyant, not able to withstand the challenges of crises. And I'll show you someone who's not done those things. They've not clarified their values, they've not fortified their values, and they didn't identify them. So we spent the last couple of days talking about identifying our values. Now I want us to talk a little bit about clarifying our values. I said that two things about that, and we'll spend some time on this. One is about looking in the past and kind of recognizing that the past is critical. George Santana said, "Those who do not look at the past are doomed to repeat it. Those who do not look at, clarify, kind of examine the past are doomed to repeat the past." So no greater evidence of that than the person that values their relationship with the opposite sex in a way that is codependent or is enabling, because they don't have a sense of self, and so they try to find themselves in someone else. They try to find their meaning in someone else. In other words, they define themselves by what other people say about them, if other people were going to spend time with them. So I don't have a sense of self, so I have to find someone else that's really special so I can feel special. You don't need anybody else. You shouldn't need anyone else to feel special. You don't have to find someone else to affirm that you're special unless you're not special. You don't think you're special enough. So whenever I'm relying on someone else to do that, it develops a codependent relationship, and a relationship that doesn't have a sense of centered core foundation. That means my values need clarifying. And once they're clarified, there's still plenty of work to do, but I got to clarify that my value comes from God and what He says about me, not from what others say about me, not how others treat me, but how God treats me. How did God treat me? Well, He died for you. He loved you enough to pay the price to get you back in a relationship with Himself. So look at the past and learn from it so you can focus on the present and grow in it. Look at the past so you can learn from it, focus on the present so you can grow in it. When we're clarifying our values, nothing does this more than death. Nothing clarifies our values more than death. A few weeks ago, I wove in some stories about the Titanic. The Titanic sank in 1912. And the sinking of the Titanic was salient because this huge deal that was, this unsinkable ship sank. People put their value in the ship. An interesting story. One of the ladies about to enter a lifeboat asked to go back to her room. The person said, "You got 3 minutes." She ran back. She went through the gambling casino, which money was literally floating in water. And she could have gone to her room. She had diamonds in her room, but instead she went where the dining room was, and she grabbed 3 oranges and ran back to the lifeboat. You see, an hour earlier, she probably would have ran to get her diamonds, but in that moment, knowing that death and life were in the balance, she chose oranges. Something to take on that lifeboat with her that would give nourishment. Death clarifies our values. When we think about our life and death, we think about what matters most. Clarify yours today and ask yourself what matters most. Love you. I'll see you tomorrow.